many of you here for the first time, and many of you here back again after many times at Lincoln Center. We're happy to have you here, and doing events like this is very important in the audience development program. Events like this draw a bridge between our targeted communities and our friends to our Lincoln Center programming. And as you'll see in your goodie bags, your takeaways, there's information about many of the events that will happen in the summer at Lincoln Center. Tomorrow evening is the opening night of our Lincoln Center Out of Doors performances, which are over 100 free events that take place right outside by our fountains and in our plazas at Lincoln Center. You'll see that. And you'll also see some information from our sister organization, Jazz at Lincoln Center, so that you can come back and see what Marcellus and Arturo Farrell and a lot of those great artists there. Many of those performances actually take place in this room. The Kaplan Penthouse gets used for school-time programming, for our American Songbook series, and many of the jazz in the Penthouse performances that happen at Lincoln Center. So again, I welcome you here. I invite you back, and have a great evening. Enjoy yourself.
Maybe you also ask that you either turn off or put on vibrate your cell phones and pagers during the culmination of this particular event. Right now, what I'd like to do is introduce two people who have been largely responsible for the success of Black Pride in New York. Lawrence Pickney, who's the executive director for Black Pride, as well as Jermaine Woolberry, who is the director of programs. Right now, Lawrence is going to tell you a little bit about Black Pride and about the events and about what Black Pride stands for.
Thank you. This is my cohort in charge. He never likes to talk, but I have to tell you, if it wasn't for Jermaine, none of this would happen. He's been there for me. He wants to take the credit for it. Another partner in crime is James Saunders, who there would be no Black Pride in New York City if it wasn't for him. About 8 years ago, he went around to several big city prides, and he didn't understand how the best city in the world didn't have one. And he started to use his own money and energy to put it together. 3 years ago, he came to me and he said, "Look, I want you involved." I said, "Can you pay me?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, I can do it as an independent contractor," and I did that for 2 years, and both of us invested a lot of time and a lot of money in it. And we're proud to say this year, because of people like Eric Thomas and Lincoln Center, other sponsors that we've had this year, we will, for the first time, pay for this pride, you know, free and clear. I'm not going to talk long because this is really today is about the artist, and that's what Black Pride is about. Many other prides choose to make it a party environment. Our objective is to expose gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, people of African descent, and Latino, and everyone to the art and to dance and to put a positive face to LGBT people. The parties are fine. As a matter of fact, if you want to join me after this, I have to go and produce the White Party Moonlight Cruise, which is sponsored by Absolute. That's from 1 to 5 in the morning, so y'all can come and hold me up. But I also wanted to say a little bit, not only about Lincoln Center, who also had gave us the opportunity yesterday to bring 30 youth, gay, lesbian youth, here to do a lunch, a tour of Lincoln Center, and also a cultural cafe. And along with Russell Simmons had a private one-on-one meeting with the 30 kids. and he was late for his private jet to do it. And we also had Verizon, who did a full technology seminar for them. Unfortunately, believe it or not, with Burrell Advertising out of Chicago, one of the premier advertising agencies, we got very little press coverage. BET did come, Go NYC did come, and one other news outlet did come. But when you see every day the negative face that they put out there, it's really interesting when you're doing something for the youth and no media comes. That's kind of strange, isn't it? I do know that thanks to The Blade and Gay City News and Go NYC and Next Magazine and so many of the other people have been behind us, we will make way one step at a time. What we would like for you to do, though, is look at our website at www.blackpridenyc.com. It's very simple. Look at what we're doing, and if you like what we're doing, then help us out either by volunteering, sending us a check, or just sending the word out. Okay? So enough with that. I would like to thank the artists that are here tonight. I'd like to thank the volunteers that came through for us tonight. I'd especially like to thank Barbara Abrams, who, whenever I'm in a crisis like I am now today, she came by and she cleaned my house, washed my dishes, moved boxes, and got me here on time. So thanks, Barbara. And read the Black Pride Journal. There's some incredible artists, poets, writers in here. Read it, give us some emails so we can get it to them. Without further ado, I want to tell you, I have seen these previews, and we call them previews because many of them are full-length features, but because of brevity, we wanted to give you a taste. The artists will be here for a talk back. At the conclusion, please get their numbers, find out where you can buy their tapes, support them, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Before I introduce you to give you the order of films that we're going to be showing this evening, I'd like to first tell you who I am. My name is Judy Smith. I run an organization called Purple Diamonds. Purple Diamonds is primarily a special events organization. We focus on special events in the community as well as trips. And when I called Lawrence last year, and I said, Lawrence, I have this really great idea. I love to go to the movies, but I never really see myself or images of me in film when I go to mainstream theaters. And I came late because I really didn't understand the magnitude of Black Pride. And he says, okay, we'll see what we can do. So Lawrence called me this year and said we were doing an event and asked if we would be an assistance to him, myself and my co-partner Rose. Rose, can you stand up for me? Michelle Dugay, who lives out on the West Coast, is not able to be with us. There are some filmmakers that are here this evening, and there are others who are still working on their artistic expression and not able to be with us. The second film we have is Life on Christopher Street, The Third House of Fire by Mustafa Khan. We have Busch Body Blues by Anita Minton, Cutting the Edge of a Free Bird by Anne-Marie J. Bryan, and How Do I Look by Wolfgang, and finally The Right Girl by Teresa Brown. At the end of the film shorts, we'll have the filmmakers come up and you can ask them questions, and it will sort of be a brief thing where you can kind of participate with them in finding out and understanding how they did the films. You can ask any type of questions you want, but we'll keep it rather brief so that you can have cocktails at the end and you can get ready for the rest of the events for tonight and Pride Weekend. So without further ado, we'll be starting with our first film, Janine by Third World Newsreel.
Yeah, I sort of figured that from the clothes and the hair.
How do I look? Face.
The mentiras my parents told me about gringos, negros, chinos, maricones, cachaperas, smashing it against the ground like coconuts because mi tierra, mi patria, es mi barrio. Where our Spanish eyes are not blinded by prejuicios. Where la única palabra that we do not understand is hate. Y que siga la tradición bajo la luna maybe, pero jamás, nunca, never en el corazón.
The ballroom scene is a beautiful place. It's a great community for creativity, and it is a great place for people to show their creativity. But the bottom line is, it's the only place where gay men and gay women and transgenders can all come together and do things that they can enjoy doing together as a community.
There's a whole new generation of ball kids now, and very few of them know Pepper's struggles and the survival skills that she acquired to get to this point in her life. In addition, Pepper's seen the comings and goings of hundreds of ballroom children who've been lost to HIV and AIDS.
It takes courage to actually go up on the runway and have somebody judge you. It's my first time. I was real nervous because I never knew what ballroom was or how it was to be gay or how to have a ballroom attitude. I found a place where I could feel accepted and feel wanted just for being who I am. I was one of those kids that actually sat back and learned and watched before I put myself out there. This kid just to come up and say, you know, you're a big inspiration, I like your effects, you know, you're different. You know, it gave meaning.
For reading the flyer and bringing it as the flyer says. When someone asks me to judge their ball, I usually have the flyer right in front of me. So when you walk, I read the flyer, and if it says teeth, skin, structure, nose, and I tell you to smile, and you're looking through furniture in your living room, read the flyer.
Say it again. Many ha ha. That's right. Do you like dang shot? Ha ha. 1976, 1977, 78, 79, 8.
I've been working balls for about 12 years, over about 800 trophies. I try to take it beyond the ballroom scene. I perform for Puffy Combs, Missy Elliott, Genuine, and a few other stars. I dance for a living. I'm a choreographer. I'm trying to take it as far as I can. So that's another reason that I walk balls too. Because I feel that balls can take people places. It depends on what you do and how you do it.
A lot of girls don't believe in God these days. They think just because they're faggots that they should stop believing in God, but they should continuously believe in God because God loves all. And that means one of us. That's exactly why we still hear some of these young kids is dying off and they just don't understand that. Do not forget about God just because we in the scene is all for fun. We all here, especially the older ones. I learned from them. So if I learned from them, y'all should take it from one of the old girls who've been around one of the old girls to learn from them. God bless them. Whoever don't like, I'm sorry, I'm praying for y'all.
Chanel, he called me out on the runway. So Eric was like, Ricky, we before the ball, we started getting the stuff together, whatever. And actually the morning of the ball, that's when I finished the outfit. That stuff, the production and everything, I just threw that in at the last minute. To me, this is how I always carry myself. I don't have to get the trophy to prove that I won. The cheers of the crowd lets me know I won. That night, I won, regardless if I got the cash, the trophy, or what. The Hall of Fame, what does it mean to me? It means a lot to me because it shows that the community approves of me. They see me. It made me feel like all the times by me being in the ball scene, it paid off. As far as somebody coming from another state and making it in New York, you really have to serve, honestly, because New York has talent. These kids out here, they're not playing. So if you're going to come in to New York and try to win a trophy, you'll have to turn it.
Every subculture was created because of America and its standards, who they wouldn't let in and who they kept out. And the bald people are people, black, gay people that were kept out of our society. And they found a way to get into the theater or to be models, or to be dancers. And they made their own arena.
Performance, also known as Vogue, is the art of appropriating culturally diverse movement and dance expressions to music through the application of improvising the lively movement of separate gestures from modern and ancient cultures. It is a stylized colligation of expressions formed in the art of modeling, pantomime, martial arts, jazz dance, break dance, African dance, tap, and other African American folk dances. These expressions, when intricately woven into one another, closely resemble symbolic positions of icons found in Egyptian hieroglyphs. Based on African American ethnic origin, performance is a logical progression of ancient African movement refined and rehearsed into a modern expression of first world party artistry. Emerging from naturalism and street dance, it is the longest ongoing African American dance tradition since tap dance. It is the final frontier in technical dance art forms worldwide. Multiculturally and geographically evolving throughout the centuries, the current identity of its modern progression manifested during the late 60s. The Harlem dance became social, hitting the clubs and streets downtown. Dancers from other cultural and ethnic backgrounds were now exposed to the so-called Vogue. Performance is too complex to be compiled into an inappropriate dichotomy of two categories. These inappropriate titles, such as Old Way and New Way, are not specific enough to define true. Classical performance is a technique of many styles, effects, modes, and bears no resemblance to what is seen on stage, ballroom floors, streets, clubs, restaurants, and is taught in schools. Once skills will be very limited if they become a student of this kind of dancing. Most performers and judges of today aren't abreast with the history or experience to identify the highest achievement of performance history. The legacy of the so-called program never perished.
It's gotten me to see various cultures and experiences that I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
I am the father of the house. I am the founder of the House of Infinity. And I founded the house in 1990, August 4th. First, I asked them, you know, what made them want to come to the House of Infinity. You know, what can we offer them? You know, and a lot of them say when they come is they look for friendship, trust, love, and whatnot, and that's what the House of Infinity is all about. Is, you know, being a family. As an adolescent, I was not supposed to think about sex, yet I did think about it, and I engaged in it. Unfortunately, I was not informed about what was safe and what was not. I became infected by HIV in 1986 at the age of 14, with my first sexual experience. HIV made me think about how I wanted to be remembered. It was important for me to let people know that I exist. I thought at the time that I was going to get really sick and look like the images of AIDS we saw in the 1980s, but I didn't want to be seen as an AIDS victim. I choose to do portraits of my friends because, well, one, because I've lost so many of them, sort of like a visual diary, so I could keep my friends with me at all times, and sometimes I have them all over the apartment.
Luna is also a very active member and, as many of you know, an activist and teacher. Through the direct support that Visual AIDS offers artists living with AIDS, we hope to be able to empower them to continue making work as well as to document and hold a visual record of the AIDS pandemic and the art that's come from artists living with AIDS.
AIDS is still out there, and we're all still concerned about it to one extent or another, you know. And the bottom line is protection of yourself and of others. You know, we don't know everyone's status, and everyone's not going to tell us their true status. So protect yourself. You know, treat everyone with universal precaution.
That's my cue. Let me introduce myself. I'm the human immunodeficiency virus, captor and ruler and destroyer of healthy cells. For short, just call me HIV. Those two lovely boys are about to have sex, but they're not using any protection. I love traveling in style. Blood, semen, or vaginal secretions are my favorite ways of getting around. As soon as I'm in, the immune system starts to look for me and alert the white blood cells to multiply. Fortunately for me, these cells are exactly where my takeover of the body begins. Now that they found me, those pretty little T cells, they try to make trouble. First, I hypnotize the white blood cells and give them special instructions, which forces them to produce more HIV cells. These new cells go in search of more white blood cells to take control. You see, once I'm here, even your body's strongest defense has trouble stopping me. The white blood cells try to fight back. Eventually, I destroy them and weaken the immune system. I attack the body, the eyes, the brain, the heart. But there's one thing that can stop me, and that's using a latex condom when you have sex.
I
big boy and a girl. We are the underground. Mistress of the underworld, the underworld, the underworld, the underworld.
Welcome to Syracuse University. I've always had a passion in wanting to attend college. Ever since I was little, like someone, like my teachers, my mom, my father, my family, everyone, they would always say that college is the key to success. I would be able to show them that I'm in school, right there next to you, sitting right next to you in your classroom. I try to stay strong because I want my head into the books. You know, like a boyfriend will so distract me, and so if my head is in the books, I can just stay focused until at least graduation.
Parents that have children that are going through transformation is to give them all the love and all the support, because what's going to happen if you don't give them love and support, you're going to lose them. They're just going to go wild. They're going to be lost jewels. They're going to be lost people, lost children, lost kids. And they're going to need all the love, all the support that you can give them.
My advice to parents with a child like Jeffrey or Octavia is to not to fight them. It's not going to help, because if they're determined to be what they want to be, there's nothing you can do but separate yourself from them. I think you should help them in every way, advise them as best you can, and to love them as they are.
Original, designer, and contrived. And there's no other way that a house can get a name.
I'll always love the Ebonies in my family, but I am the mother.
Give a round of applause. Congratulations on you.
How do I look?
I don't think the microphone is on, but ladies and gentlemen, we have one last film, and it's about 10 minutes, and then we'll open up for questions. Oh, it is working. Thank you.
Think that improvising is gonna.
Thank you. That ends our program for the evening. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We do have to, we did have to move on. But did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Some of our filmmakers are here, and Jade Emery Bryan, who is a deaf filmmaker, had to leave because her signer had to leave. So she had to leave early, but those filmmakers that are here, can you stand up, please? And maybe it's so nice because most of them, these are feature-length films, and they do shorts for us for this particular program. But what we're going to ask them to do is they're going to be standing outside as we exit, and you can speak with them shortly before you leave. And remember that most of these films, if they would allow equal timings, will be shown either in a short or a feature length during our Black and Cultural Film Festival in October. You can find out information about that on our website, www.purplediamonds.bizbiz or purplediamonds.org. There we go. In any case, thank you very much. We have good plans for you.